Thanks everybody for joining us tonight, and we will get into our meeting agenda. So, general meeting for April 3rd, 2023. Give you guys, as I usually do, a preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. First up, we're going to talk about our training center opening. We're going to talk a little bit about some help that we need, some contributions we need from the membership in order to make sure that we can operate well this year. Going to get into the main event of the night, which is our parking lottery. And then we'll also be having a Kahoot, courtesy of Matt Coleman. And if you're not familiar with what a Kahoot is, you're in for a treat. You don't want to miss it. We'll go over our season calendar, just as a reminder to everybody of what they can be looking forward to in the coming weeks and months. Talk a little bit about where we can keep the conversation going after this meeting ends. And then we will all hopefully go and have sweet dreams about that spring soaring to come. Starting off with the training center opening, your help is needed. We've got tows available. We've got a new and improved, well, the facility isn't new, but the facility is improved with new furniture, a new layout, new artwork, and other improvements coming. But we really could use some help putting the finishing touches on the improved space. Luckily for all of you, a few key volunteers, especially Chris and Nan, have done just a ton of work this winter getting things ready, and really think that we all owe them a debt of gratitude. And I can't wait to see everyone experience and use the facility. And Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, you first thing there, you said tows available. I signed up for both days, but I would also like to fly my glider. And if there's some tow pilots out there that would like to come out, I'd really appreciate it because I think it'd be good to get the ball rolling this season with the tow planes and get everybody back up and running in the tow planes. So the more the merrier.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And yes, it'd be great to have another tow pilot or two out there, given all the work that Chris has already put into the training facility this winter. It'd be good to get him up in the air as well. The event is going to happen April 15th, 16th, so just a couple weekends from now. We will be performing this opening rain or shine, and bunks will be available for folks that can come and help out in order to keep this simple and low cost. And if you sign up to come out and help out, we'd really appreciate you still showing up, even if the weather isn't the greatest. We all know that springtime soaring is very unpredictable. But the good news is that unpredictability goes both ways. There are days, like we've talked about today in Seattle, that were forecasted to be mostly cloudy, but gosh, there were a few hours there where it was beautiful and soarable in a lot of the area. And we may easily find that in Ephrata, even if the overall weather forecast doesn't look so hot. So please come on out April 15th and 16th. And before you come out, we would really love to know you're coming. Make sure that we've got the right mix of folks and that we can take care of all the things we need to take care of. So I'd like to urge you to use the ops calendar to register, to show your interest and your ability to help and even give tows, as Chris mentioned. We are using the Sign Up Genius system. Easy way to find this is go to our website, and across the top we've got the navigation menu. And if you hover your mouse over events, you'll see the 2023 Ephrata Operations Sign Up right there on the website menu. So go to the SGC website, hover over events, click on the Operations Sign Up. You'll click through to Sign Up Genius and it'll look something like this. And for most of you, just go down to where it says Pilots Wanting Tows and click that Sign Up button. For those of you tow pilots, obviously you're going to click the sign up button next to where it says tow pilots so that we can properly recognize and celebrate your amazing awesomeness. Any questions or concerns about the sign-up process, or about the training center opening. All right. I'll assume that means that all 34 of you on this call are happy to come on out and help us out. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you out there. So let's talk about volunteering. And this is a community-driven organization. You can see from the bottom half of the page here, we've got a bunch of key individuals helping out in really important spots, but not all the jobs are filled. We've got several that we could really use. A few, like the elections chair, the awards committee chair, the banquet organizer, these are nice because it's just a once a year thing, and it's really easy to help out with. The two that are more critical here in the short term is that we get a calendar or ops czar. We need somebody to help us keep that Sign Up Genius system going in case there's any little hiccups, and coordinate and deconflict any little challenges or issues, and just make sure that we're just generally staying on top of the operations so that we can have consistent tows available, so that we can have a good cadence of operations this year. As we mentioned in previous months, COVID's been really hard on our bottom line, on our financial reserves. And the key to our 2 tow planes working again this year and to being a successful organization is that we get enough tows in this year. So making sure that we've got tow pilots going, that pilots are signing up, is really, really important to the organization this year. So if any of you can, spare an hour or two a week at most to occasionally look at the signups, note if we have empty weekends, kind of put out an email, or kind of raise the flag on the SGC news group and other groups and say, hey, we need a tow pilot, or we need some glider pilots to come out and sign up. We could really use that person's help. It's an easy job, doesn't take that much effort. If you think that this is something that you can help out with, would love for you to drop us a line or let me know, either here in the meeting or afterwards via email. You can always reach out to volunteer by emailing the SGC board. And just as a reminder, that is sgcboard@seattleglidercouncil.org. The other one's tow card data entry. Right now, we have paper tow cards that get filled out for every tow, and we need a little bit of help getting those plugged into the system for accounting and billing purposes. We have a little web form that makes it easy, but we need to make sure that we have the right person or people to occasionally grab batches of these paper tow cards, have them mailed to your house so that you can just pop on the web form and fill them out and make sure that we've got all our records straight and our billing correct. So again, if that's something you're willing to help out with once every couple of weeks, we'd really love to hear from you. Anybody have any questions or comments about any of these positions? Okay. I realize that we're less likely to get somebody stepping up and volunteering when I make an open call like this rather than putting somebody on the spot. But I'm really hoping that we can get some folks that are willing and understand that this is a collective effort rather than trying to strong arm people and have anybody do this under threat of resentment or ostracization. So again, if any of these open or needed positions are things that you think, yeah, an hour a month, a little bit of help out, make sure that this organization keeps going. Would really appreciate you just taking the next step to ping me or ping the board, and we'll get you going. Thank you.
Hey, Noel, this is Brad. You can put me down. I'll volunteer for Meadow. How'd that be?
Oh, hey, we don't have you listed under Meta down at the bottom half, do we? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I think we'll still be doing it.
Yeah. I apologize for that oversight. I will add your name to that list And certainly your contributions in organizing and running that event are not forgotten. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Noel, I just wanted to say thank you to Dave Lindberg, Tom Dixon, Eric Greenwell, and Dave Roche, and actually yourself as well for all you guys' help on the TOWLINE and getting that out. Really appreciate your volunteering and efforts on that, and hopefully we can do it just as well going forward.
Chris, is that something you are posting up on the website? Is that how it's going to be accessed? Are you going to mail it? What's the plan?
We did post it. It is on the website, and it was also mailed out to the membership, put on the SGC News and KOA.
Okay.
So sorry for the flashing of my screen there through a few things really quickly, but yes, TOWLINE is being sent out electronically, and it'll be sent out with links to everyone via email, as well as Chris said, on Soaring and SGC News. But anyone, even if you're not a member, even if you're not signed into the website, anyone can come and see the new TOWLINE newsletters. The way they're being published, you just go to the seattleglidercouncil.org website, hover over information, and then click on TOWLINE newsletters. Once you click on that, you'll see all the current editions. Right now, we've just got the one, but give us time, we will add more. And you click on that and it'll open it right up, and you'll be able to read the latest news, information, articles from your fellow pilots, and all the good stuff. And I want to echo Chris's sentiments and thank Chris as well. He really spearheaded the TOWLINE committee and got the newsletter going again. So thank you very much, Chris, and thank you to all of our TOWLINE editors for putting together a great and informative newsletter. I think there's some really good stuff in here, and I hope I know at least 50 of you have opened it up and taken a look at it. So thank you very much, and I hope more will too. We've got great information about the status of the new training facility changes, the tow planes, talking about our opening day coming up, a couple of fun things from the past, and a great summary of information in here. We've got lots of good contact and reference information, and lots of good stuff. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out. And again, thanks to Mr. Lindberg, Dixon, Greenwell, Royce, and Chris Clicks. Okay, well, having gotten through those, it's time for the first main event of the night, our lottery. Jim Dauberful, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Got your 5x5, Jim.
Great. Sounds good. Okay, so I will actually knock my camera out and then just share my screen so that we can actually see the map of what it is that we're at.
Sounds good.
Can you see the map now?
Yep, looks great. Thank you.
Excellent. My apologies. All right, and then we have the name. So what I did was essentially used a random number generator based on the 12 names that were submitted, and then from that place it next to the name. So first up, we have Kelvin. Kelvin, are you with us?
Unfortunately, Kelvin is not with us. He is back in country, but he was not able to make it tonight. But he did ask me to proxy for him.
Oh, okay.
And he would like spot number 19, please.
19 it is. All right.
Sorry, Mike Bamberg, you have a question?
Yeah, I thought I paid for a spot, but I don't see my name up there.
Do you know when you paid for a spot?
Well, when we opened up things around the late December, I may have, I may have gotten things changed around. I'll talk to Randy later.
I'll take I'll take a quick look while we're selecting the next couple here and see if we can't find your information. I did a look about an hour and a half ago and didn't see you in the list, but I'll double check. Maybe I missed something. Sorry about that.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Bob.
All right. Miss Terrence Smith. Okay, not present. Chris Clicks.
Yeah, I'd like number 23.
3. Okay. No, what slot did you have your eye on?
Oh, let's go with slot 15.
Okay. And Randy Scott.
Randy couldn't be here tonight. Oh. Got some feedback going there. Let's see. He asked me to proxy for him, but give me just one moment. Why don't you go move on to Craig, and I will let you know.
Okay. Craig Funston, are you there? Dennis Breakin.
Yeah, Jim. 51.
51. Okay. Ellen Hull.
Actually, Jim, sorry.
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead.
For Randy Scott, could we go with space 16, please?
16. Okay. Malin, are you on?
I'm on. Yeah, space 26 probably be good. I want to be out of the wind if I can be, so it looks a little closer to the buildings.
Okay, good luck with that, Frida. All right. Rita, what slot do you want?
I would go for number 3.
Okay, number 3. Got it. Okay, do we have Robert Sicom?
Yeah. Sitting on there, 50. Yeah, 55.
Okay, 5-5.
5-6. Yeah.
Oh, you want 5-6?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Marty Gibbons.
How about 43?
43. Excellent. And Doug?
Let's see, 45.
45. Okay. So I guess we still have Terrence Smith and Craig Funston outstanding. So that concludes the trailer lottery.
Actually, sorry. I did locate Mr. Bamberg's invoice. So if he has a trailer spot he'd like, he should go for it. And if he wanted it to be 15, I will sacrifice my spot to him.
No, 14 is what I was looking for. 14.
Great. Okay, thanks, Mike. Appreciate your patience in this. Okay. Do we have anybody else at this point?
Hey, no, it's Brian. I have an invoice from March 6th that says we paid for a glider and trailer parking fee. I don't know if that's the same thing. We don't care where we park at all. I don't think Jonathan cares either. But I'm just wondering if you might be missing some folks on there, or if my receipt here isn't real applicable to this.
No, it is. It is applicable.
So I don't care where we park. It really doesn't matter. We'll take what's left over when we get there, as far as I'm concerned. But I just might check and see if maybe the process might have left some other people out too.
Yeah, no, you are correct. It might be that this process left folks out. Let me just see. Yes, unfortunately, I'm seeing there is a minor technical issue with our website, and the ampersand symbol in our store order for the glider and trailer parking name seems to be throwing it for a loop. So you are definitely there. And if Sergey Skopkarev, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, is on the line here, it appears that Sergey also paid for a spot, as well as Dan Winberg.
Yeah, yeah, I'm online, and Sergey is not online, and it's Dan with 2 A's. I don't really have a major a preference at all. I'm only there for the dust up, and I'm quite happy to park my trailer anywhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Sergey had a preference.
Okay, I see now you guys paid just for the week, so you guys are
Yeah.
good.
Correct. Yeah. It's Skobkarev.
Skopkarev, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies on the spellings. We can capture those here in a little bit.
Noel, did you get a request from Kevin Forsyth at all for RV parking? Or I know it's not applicable now.
Yes, I did. I apologize. I'm a little late in responding to a few folks about RV parking. That's something that there was a little bit of a hiccup on arranging, and I will be back in touch with Kevin and a couple other folks who are waiting for answers on that shortly. The good news is, especially for season parkers, we've got plenty of space available, and there haven't been such a flood of requests for weekly usage that I think we should be able to accommodate everybody who's asked so far. So stay tuned and we'll get back to you very soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Noel.
All right. Just so before we conclude this, Brian, did you want to pick out a slot for Jonathan?
And he's on the call too. I don't think we even know what's really best. You know, I don't think we care, and we can just take what's available when we get there. We're fine with that.
41, if we could get that.
I just don't want to accidentally take somebody else's spot. So it's all good.
All right. You said 41 there, Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay. You got
There
it.
you go.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, everybody who paid your season fee already. Really appreciate that. That's helping us with our early season expenses. And hopefully we'll have a few more folks go ahead and pay their seasonal fee and come out and join us all season. For now, though, let us turn our attention to that flying this season, or at least the knowledge of how we fly, and ask Mr. Coleman to take over and present us all with a Kahoot. Take it away, Matt, whenever you're ready.
All right. I just got to figure out how to share my screen. Has anybody on the call done a Kahoot before?
No.
Okay. So what it is, it's kind of like you can make a online trivia kind of a event, kind of a trivia contest. So I got to figure out how to.
Pardon me for interrupting, Matt.
Yeah.
While you're working on that, oh, it looks good, by the way. Can see it. Looks like John Foster might have his hand up. John, do you have a question or a comment? All right, John, I see your mic is unmuted, but I'm not hearing you. So if you're having troubles, use the little chat window. There should be a button to turn on chat. You can chat something at us, and we'll try to help you out. And if you get your microphone worked out, go ahead and speak up anytime. No big deal. Mr. Bamberg.
Yeah, I'm going to check off, folks, but have fun with the Kahoots and hope to see you all at Dust Up. We're doing a little bit of adjusting right now, and hopefully in the next week, we'll be able to accept a few more individuals that would like to participate.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
Have a good sail.
Okay, now everybody else on the call has a chance to win. That Mike's gonna not be on here, then should be okay. All right. So can everybody see the PowerPoint there?
Yeah,
looks good.
Visible.
Okay. All right. So welcome to Kahoot. It's a competitive quiz. So I'm going to throw out the disclaimer that this is the first time I've ever made one. So it's going to be fairly rudimentary, and my 12-year-old daughter had to help me put it together last night. So getting old, or you got to turn to the kids for the technology questions.
Wait, is this a quiz about
and-
soaring or boy bands?
Soaring. It is soaring, I promise. So hopefully I didn't make the questions too rudimentary. I mean, there's such a vast levels of knowledge on this call. It's hard to come up with multiple choice questions that's gonna rattle everybody's brain. So some of them may be easy, some of them not. Let me go to the next slide. Oh, there we go. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to switch screens, and you have a couple different ways to log into it. You can either go to www.kahoot.it, or if you want to play with a mobile device in your hand, and you can look at the main screen as kind of your scorekeeping screen. There will be a QR code that you can scan with your phone to load that. So there's a couple different ways to get into it. In a couple screens here, there's going to be a passcode number or a PIN number. It's that PIN number is the same for everybody. It's just the code to get into this specific event. So you'll have to enter that code. If you scan with the QR code, it'll automatically take you to the correct Kahoot, but you may have to enter the code if you don't scan. Enter a name, whatever you want to be known as during the competition. And a word of warning, if you are accessing from a mobile device, you might run into problems if you let the screen time out or lock up. Sometimes when you unlock your phone screen, it doesn't wake up exactly as it should. So if you really want to be competitive and get every point you can, try not to let your phone go to sleep on you. Okay, and the score is based on, so first thing you have to have is accuracy. No points for a wrong answer, but it's also time-based. So answering accurately and quickly will get you to the top of the leaderboard. Okay, and let me go to my other screen.
Yeah, so
Okay, can everybody see this screen?
Here it is. Okay.
And
It actually just disappeared. Are you?
yeah, sorry, I was
Thanks.
okay. So there's the screen, there's the code. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to get logged on. Okay, I'm going to give it another 15 seconds, then we're going to start the game. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit the start button. Okay, and after each question, okay, here comes the first one. I'll just be quiet and let you guys read it. All right. Looks like most everybody got the correct answer there. So the correct answer is 1202. 1202 is a discrete transponder code for gliders. If you want to know where that's listed, it's in the AIM, the FAR AIM. In there. Any questions on that one? I think most everybody got it right. Let's see. All right, looks like Lynn got the correct answer and got it the quickest, got the most points. All right, congratulations, Lynn. All right, any discussion on that question for anybody before we move on to the next? All right, here we go. Okay, this is the one where you're going to need to move the tiles around to the proper order. All right, this one was probably tough to, I probably should have given you some more time on that one. But believe it or not, fresh concrete reflects more sunlight than sand, which reflects more sunlight than grass, which reflects more sunlight than asphalt. So kind of the bottom of that pile, so the asphalt, the grass, you know, working up from the bottom is going to be the surfaces where you're going to potentially find more lift or more thermals under. Any questions on that one before we find out who got that one right? Oh, well done. All right, any discussion on that question before we move on? All right, hearing none, we'll go to question number 3. All right, correct answer. This is straight out of the glider flying handbook. Add 1/2 of the wind. Doesn't matter if it's headwind, crosswind, tailwind, add half the wind. And let's see who's moving up the leaderboard. There we go. Okay, any questions on that before we move on?
I just want to say, look at these scores. It's a tight game.
Yeah, it is. So much of it depends on the speed at which the questions are answered, and kind of being basic questions. Most people should probably know these answers. It's kind of, I'd call it private pilot knowledge. So speed is going to be of the essence if you're going to want to have bragging rights for 2023 SGC Kahoot champion.
So this is Dan Woodrig. Because I got the second one right, is that why I couldn't put in an answer for the third one?
Yeah, we'll come back to that. We got to concentrate on this one right now. I can't stop.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, mine just isn't registering.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a internet speed thing.
There's 2 answers.
Do you note that some of the
Yeah, there's
answers you
2
have to click your answer and then you have to hit the submit button in the corner?
Okay. Yeah, so this one, winds aloft are, they're in true and they're in knots. Okay, so to the question that was being asked, can you repeat that question?
It didn't let me submit for the third question.
And which question, what was the
So
subject
that was
of that?
the Albedo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
No,
don't know. Is there a submit button on it or?
I don't know. I was just able to do the one we just did. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's because some of these, yeah, there's a submit button. So after you put things in the right order or select the right things, make sure to check the corners of the screen. And it might be in a different place depending on what kind of device you're on. And see if
But-
there's a submit or an enter button.
No, the answers never came up. Anyway, just keep going.
Okay, yeah, I can't explain.
Yeah, I never found a submit button, so.
Okay. Like I said, this is my first time doing it, and I've never actually used one as a user. So like I said, I am brand new to this too, so I don't have all the answers, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see where the leaderboard's moving to now. Tobob.
Tobob
Pulling
has all
ahead.
the answers.
You glider
Pulling
guys,
ahead.
you better start working harder.
Hey, wait, now I'm not gonna name names, but I know one of the people on this leaderboard works for the FAA. So if they weren't close to the lead, that'd be a problem.
But I'm retiring, so it's.
All right. Okay, here we go. Moving on. Got about 25 of these to get through, or 27, so we'll keep it moving. Okay. There was two answers. 123.5 and 123.3 are again in the Airman's Information Manual listed as specific glider frequencies. All right. Any questions on that one before we move on? All right. So next, this should bring us to, this one's not a question for score. This is a poll. So if faced with landing out, would you rather land uphill with a tailwind or downhill with a headwind? And this is not a scored question. This is just to spur a little discussion. So looks like most people would choose uphill with a tailwind. Anyone want to defend their position, or anybody that chose downhill with a tailwind, a headwind, want to defend their position? No, I guess not. Everybody's got their beliefs and they're sticking to them.
It'd be nice if the QR code stayed up because my phone did time out and I lost track of the game. So, oh well.
Oh, okay. Are you able to refresh the screen or anything?
I tried. Yeah, I can't.
Oh, shoot.
So
That's
Chris,
all right.
if you want to, you can just go to the kahoot.it webpage again. Oh, it might not let you back in the game, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
don't worry
it'll
about
have
it.
him create
I'll just follow
another
along.
name because his
I had to
username-
pick a new name the second time.
Okay.
Yeah, if there was a way to keep the QR code up, that'd be great next time.
Well, so yeah, so the pin, if you go to the website, the pin's down at the bottom. You can rejoin, but you're going to have to rejoin as somebody else, and your score is going to start from 0. So
That's okay. Just keep going. Yeah.
okay. All right. Nobody wanted to discuss that one, so we'll move on to the next one. All right, the correct answer is 2 degrees Celsius per 1,000 feet. And let's see, Dan H is pulled in the lead. All right, we'll keep it moving here and go on to the next one.
Dan's crushing it.
Yeah, there we go. That one's definitely private pilot knowledge there. Of course, it can stall at any speed if you yank on the stick hard enough. All right. Let's see. This is where speed is of the essence. Dan is lightning quick with the fingers there. All right, moving on. This one might be kind of hard to see. Look right down the middle of the screen. You're going to see a cold front approaching a freighter.
You ever have one of those moments where you say, I got the answer right, and then realize, oh crap, I don't have the answer right.
So correct answer is approaching as the cold front approaches. It's going to be out of the south. Once it passes, it's going to go more out of the west northwest. But approaching, at least in the northern hemisphere, with not excluding Mr. Bamberg down south, winds on the as the cold front approach are going to be out of the south. And the day that I actually this was just this weekend that I took that snapshot of that was a true overlay of what the weather was doing, and the terminal forecast at Moses Lake was calling for winds 190, which exactly matches up with what the theory says it should. All right, Dan's staying in the lead. All right, moving on. All right. Correct answer is those are weak links, the different colors being the different strengths of weak link or break, what different pounds or whatever kilos that they'll break at. All right, Malox, peeling ahead. Okay, this is going to be the one where you need to adjust the slider scale and then probably need to submit once you adjust your scale. I have no idea what this animation's doing. Oh, it's showing, okay. 2,000, it's the correct answer. It's twice the max weight of the airplane. Again, private pilot 101 knowledge. All right, moving on. Yep, 30%. Again, straight out of the glider flying handbook. I threw that one in there because a couple of weeks ago I was watching some videos, YouTube, of where some guys were getting a little too slow on the toes and they getting themselves into a little hairy situation. So kind of piqued my interest there to throw that one in. And it also recommends 20% above the tow plane stall speed. So 30% above the glider, 20% above the tow plane. All right. Moving on. Okay, another poll. Use a parachute static line secured to the glider, yes or no? Again, non-scored, just meant to spur thought and spur a discussion. All right, most people say no. Why is that? Somebody want to volunteer a reason for not using a static line?
Just keeps the bits near you instead of away from you. Flailing wings and so forth if it came apart.
Okay.
Something else to get tangled.
Okay, yeah, all valid reasons. Anybody in the yes column want to defend their position?
I think it can go either way. One of the advantages is that if you've got too much going and you're especially close to the ground, you ensure that the parachute gets opened as soon as possible. However, on the downside is that if you forget to unhook yourself when you get out of your glider at the end of the day, well, you just bought yourself
Self-critiquing.
another repack.
Yeah, Since you brought it up, Jim, what would be your minimum altitude for bailing out at low altitude?
It depends on the situation. I mean, but there have been cases even on winch launches where people bailed out when they realized they forgot to hook up the elevator, and the chute opened up literally last second before it, they hit the ground and they survived. I don't think there's a standard answer for that. You're just going to make the best situation out of what you've got.
Yeah, I was doing a little research on the internet when I was making this. Strong Parachute, the company says 500 feet AGL is the minimum to pull the ripcord. But like you said, that is going to give you the proverbial one swing in the chute, and then you're going to hit at a very high rate to the ground. In the Air Force, we always, if we had round parachutes and a old school ejection seat, we always used 1,000 feet AGL. So there's actually a lot of stuff on the internet about emergency bailout, and the FAA's got some stuff. I just did a Google search. In fact, let me show it now. I'm not going to change the screen, but the FAA has a document out there about bailing out and using an emergency parachute and some of the things to think about. So when you got a couple free minutes, go check out that stuff. And you never know when you're going to need to use it. So, okay. Any more discussion on that? All right, moving on. This one might be hard to see. VR 1350 is highlighted in yellow. It's right next to Afreda. All right, correct answer for the VR, because it has 4 numbers in the code or of the name of the airway, the military training route. It's no higher than 1,500 feet. That's the only VR with 4 digits around Afreda. The rest of them are all IR routes with 3 digits. So those can go up significantly higher. The ones below 1,500 feet are maybe not such a big threat to gliders, because if you're at 1,500 feet, you're probably looking for a place to land. But all the other higher altitude military training routes around Afreda are definitely threats to us. Any questions on that one? All right, well done.
Not
Noel.
a question, but a quick comment. I will say,
Sure.
You say safe or safer if you're at or above 1,500 feet over that airway, but I will tell anybody who hasn't had the experience, having an F-18 or a C-17 fly underneath your glider, even if it's a few thousand feet below your glider, having them come underneath your glider is definitely gets your attention.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it out. I'm going to make a little presentation about the threats around the Afreda area. This is just a little teaser of what I have to come. Hopefully by the dust up, I'll have it available for people. But the scary thing, and not the scary thing, but what people don't realize is, anybody here want to hazard a guess how wide those military training routes are? No.
I think they're 5 miles. I think they're 5 miles.
So there's no hard rule. They can vary, but average is about 4 miles either side of center line. So those things are wide. So it's, they kind of look like skinny little airways on the chart. They are anything but skinny little airways. It's a huge swath of airspace, and those guys can be coming from any direction. They're not just following that center line. So definitely, keep your eye out when you're approaching those. And they are. Anybody seen the movie Top Gun Maverick? Guess where that was filmed? All those low-level mountain scenes. That was up in the Okanagan MOAs and on the low-level routes and stuff up in northern Washington. So if you don't think those guys are there, they are there. So
Yeah, really quick, Matt, do you want to,
Yeah.
I don't think everybody knows your background. Do you want to tell everybody what you used to fly before you got into gliders?
I used to fly C-17s, so all those military routes on there, I'm very familiar with. But like I said, I'm going to do a PowerPoint of all the threats around the Ephrata area and kind of sum up what where you can find more information about the military training routes for you. Try to keep that stuff clear. Okay, moving on.
Like Noel said, a number of years ago, I had a 747 come in about 1,000 feet below me going into Moses Lake. Came from behind me.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, yeah. And that's going to be part of my presentation too, because what pays my bills right now is flying the Boeing airplanes in and out of Moses Lake. So I'll let you know where you're likely to find us sneaking up behind you guys. So, okay, moving on.
Okay, making us try to do date math is just evil, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I had to do something. That's where the time pressure comes in. All right, yeah, most people got it. Did the date math correct? Yeah, 180 days from today will be September 30th.
Holy crap, I got a right answer. I'm all excited.
Well done, James. All right. Okay, moving on. A little bit of movement. Okay, here we go. All right, if anybody doesn't know where Pinosa is, it's just south of Methow. In fact, it's right along the Methow River. So this is applicable to anybody flying up in the Okanagan. All right, most people bid off on flow plane. Nope, but the right answer is it's an ultralight flight park. So good luck finding that if you need it. Probably not marked in any way. It's probably just literally probably just looks like a farmer field. I don't know. I've never seen it from the air, but I can't imagine it looks anything that resembles a airport. Has anybody ever seen it from the air?
I have not seen that one, but I have landed at an ultralight flight park that was not on the sectional, just south of Creston about 6 years ago. And let me tell you, it looked like somebody had just mowed a section of grass a bit shorter than the surrounding field, and it was short. It worked for a single seater, but it was short.
So I'm going to give a homework assignment to the next person that drives up to Methow is to stop there and get some intel and share with everybody what that looks like and if it looks landable for us. So
I was just going to say that I think I saw it driving up to Methow.
Okay. Yeah, if we could get an intel report on that would be beneficial for everybody. Okay, moving on. Let's see who got that one. No, no movement. Okay, going on. There we go, right hand for 2-2. If you noticed the little information block on the sectional, it had a little RP22. That stands for right hand pattern for 2-2. I'm going to date myself too. Back when I did my VFR flying private pilot days 30 years ago, that didn't exist. And when I started doing the glider training a couple years ago, and I actually dusted off a sectional and first saw those RPs, I didn't know what it was either. So I don't know when they put it. It was sometime in the last 20 years they started adding those to the chart, but it was new to me a couple years ago. So that's why I threw it in there. All right, moving on. Okay, here we go. Oh, this slide was supposed to be back by my parachute conversation. I got that one in the wrong order. Apologies. All right, moving on. This one's a trick question. Look at all the information in the picture. And it has multiple selections, by the way. All right. So the trick question of this, so it was 900 feet AGL, and if you looked at the chart, there was a spot elevation that was 2650. So if you do the math of where that point is, it puts you above 10,000 feet. So you got to go with the above 10,000 foot minimums, and there's multiple selections. So 5 miles, 1,000, 1,001 mile. Just trying to make it a little more difficult for you guys, but looks like some people got it. All right, moving on. Get this finished up here. All right. So I know somebody better get this one right. There's multiple answers here. There's going to be 3 total answers. All right, Jonathan Hart, are you in the game here?
Yeah.
Would you like to give us any more info? Give us the answers to this question. You better know them.
Well, I know it's in Hood River, and glider is in the museum at Hood River, which I've been in a while. So.
Okay, can't hear you there. Yeah, so there are 2 Slingsbys, the Petrel and the Kite, and those are both located in Hood River in the museum down there. So if you're ever in town, swing by and you'll get to check out those. It was pretty cool picture. Does anybody remember when that was taken or have any firsthand knowledge of that event? No? Okay. All right, moving on. Yeah, most people got it there. 48 knots, about 20% higher. Again, it's kind of private pilot 101. All right, here we go. Okay, so this one again, it's just a poll. So this is a pin. So I want to know where you all have flown gliders outside of the state of Washington. So you can drop some pins on the coolest place that you've flown, or most interesting place. And I don't think you're just limited to one. I think you can drop multiple pins.
I think it only let me drop one.
Did it? Okay. Okay, I had no idea it was going to do that. I thought we were going to see a map with pins on it. Okay, again, I'm learning something here. All right. Well, cool. All right. Moving on to another question. We're almost done. There we go. Distance, convection depth is defined as the distance between the ground and the top of the thermal, which is usually cloud top. All right. A little bit of movement. And here we go. Oh, you know what? I might have. Yeah. Okay. This is supposed to be how far apart would you expect the thermals to be? Kind of a horizontal spread between thermals. Didn't exactly word that one correctly. So this one is a little tough. So the numbers are going to be a range. Like if you read, depending on which author you read about the different things, it's kind of a range. So I went with 2.5 times the convection height, or the depth of convection, which made it 2.5 nautical miles between thermals. You may work off of different numbers. Again, it's just going to depend on which author you read as the source of your information. Okay, moving on. Okay, again, multiple selection. I'll give you a hint. There's going to be 3 correct answers here. And you may have to hit a submit button when you're done. All right, there you go. Slower stall speed, less drag, and less pitch stability. Again, Private Pilot 101 knowledge. All right. Noel's peeling away.
2 questions left for y'all to take me down.
Okay, how will your interthermal McCready speed change if you have a headwind? All right, trick question there. Interthermal, so moving thermal to thermal, your McCready speed won't change due to the wind. If you're using McCready speed for your final glide, it will most certainly change it, but moving interthermal, everybody that I Google searched on the internet says that it doesn't change. Anybody debate that?
I'll just jump in and say that anyone who might be twisting their head around about this one, note that this is what the McCready speed in theory says. What you may want to do to your own speed to get to a different spot over the ground might be different, depending on the conditions and the overall lift strength. But McCready theory itself just has to do with the optimal speed to fly based on the expected strength of the next thermal. So as Matt kind of said, what happens over the ground or relative to the air movement horizontally has nothing to do with McCready speed. That's all extra stuff you got to add on to McCready theory.
All right, moving on. Okay, so this is the last one. This is again a poll. So I want to know what subjects you'd like to learn about at the May meeting, and then also I didn't put it on there, but Dust Up. What kind of subjects would you like to learn at the May meeting or at Dust Up? Just type in your answers, and then hit submit. Then it's going to pop up with a word cloud, and I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to try to make your wishes come true. All right, I am taking a screenshot of this, and I'll see what I can cook up for next meeting and Dust Up. All right, time to reveal the big winner. All right, Dan H, congratulations. John, number one. Let's give a big round for Dole. All right, runners, we got Jonathan, and I missed the other one there. All right, that is all I got. I am gonna stop presenting. Hopefully that was informative. Hopefully you learned something. Apologies if it was too basic, but like I said, this was my first time doing it, and trying to find questions that apply to everybody is pretty tough, but hopefully you enjoyed it.
If it was too
Great
basic, I
job,
did
Matt.
way worse than I should have.
It was great because I learned about Kahoot.
Well, there you go. So did I.
Awesome stuff, Matt. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, it seems simple, but knowing that you had to find all those screenshots and photos and layer them in there and identify the right answers, and then make sure you had the right answer so you didn't tell everyone the wrong answer. It's a lot of effort. So thank you very much, Matt. And I certainly got some wrong as well. I know I'm kind of a ringer perhaps in this crowd, but uh, I won't speak for anybody else, but I know there were a few topics you brought up where I really had to kind of put my thinking cap on, because you say it's private pilot knowledge, but I'm going to guess some of you out there are like me, where you learn it and then you get used to your rules of thumb and your everyday flying, and you never think about the exact thing again. So for me, it raised my eyebrows a couple times. I was like, oh crap, I've forgotten that. I really kind of need to relearn that. So thank you.
The
All right,
first
that's all I
question.
got. Yeah, go ahead.
The first question, when Wyman nailed right away, which left me with the impression he was trying to pull a quick one on us.
No, no. It's kind of like March Madness, you know, starting out of the block. There's a lot of surprises that first round of the tournament.
Just the luck of the draw.
It's kind of the yeah. You can take a lot of hits before the end of the tournament. So, all right, that's all I got.
Thanks again, Matt. And I thought it was really cool to see a bunch of folks jumping up and down there on the podium over the course of it. It means a lot of folks had a lot of good answers. So thanks everybody for playing. Thanks again, Matt, for that. I'm going to go ahead and take us through the last couple of slides here, and then help you all get on with the rest of your evening. So a quick review of our calendar. As mentioned, we've got the training center opening here in just a couple weeks. Can't wait to see a few of you out there to help us spruce up the place, and then go have hopefully some fun spring flying. About a month later, we will have the Dust Up. As Mike Bamberg mentioned, we are pretty full on the Dust Up already, which is kind of cool. But also, we want to try to maximize the amount of soaring and opportunities that we can offer there. Matt has talked about helping out with some learning opportunities, and I will be talking and working with Mike Bamberg when he gets back to the country to put on some online meetings and seminars for those that have signed up for the Dust Up to help you prepare for the event. So If there are others in your club who are planning to attend the dust up, but they are not on this meeting tonight, please pass word along to them and let them know that we will be sending out notifications to all the registered entrants and inviting them to hop on a couple of these meetings, maybe watch a YouTube video or two, to really help everyone feel prepared about what to expect when they get to Ephrata, and maybe some things to study ahead of time so that you're primed for success there. We bumped up the registration quantities a little bit here in the last day or two. If they fill up again, we should see a wait list go up, and we are going to talk it over. If we get completely full up, we have a very difficult juggling act to consider, whether it be trying to add a fourth tow plane versus potentially allowing or encouraging the event to sort of bleed backwards into the Thursday, Friday leading up to the weekend. We want to try to get as many people out there, but the more tow planes we add, the more complicated all the logistics gets, and the harder it gets to organize everything. So stay tuned, and your best defense against any of that is to sign up sooner rather than later if you haven't already, and to let all of your club mates who might want to come out to the dust up, get them to sign up sooner rather than later so that we have as much notice as possible to make sure we can accommodate everybody who wants to come out. Dave, you got a question or a comment?
Just a comment. You say July space available. Just a caution, July 16th through the 31st, Civil Air Patrol has a Power Flight Academy at Ephrata this year. They're not flying gliders this year.
Okay, thanks for the heads up. Bummer about the lack of them flying gliders this year, but we will definitely make sure we coordinate with them and deconflict in the second half of July there.
Yeah, we'd like to do the gliders. We're running short on airframes.
Ah, that's a bummer. All right. Just to quickly run through the rest of these, you guys have probably read these ahead of me, but oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I wonder if we could maybe take a poll for how many might be interested in adding more days to the dust up. I think it does give us a bigger window should we have bad weather. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can create a formal poll, but here's what we'll do. For everybody in the meeting right now, if you would come out a day early or 2 days early and take tows on the Thursday or Friday before the official dust up, look on the little bar where your camera and microphone controls are, and there should be an option to raise your hand. So if you are pretty sure you'd come out to take tows on that Thursday and or Friday, go ahead and click the little raise hand button to raise your hand. Okay. Looks like we got somewhere between, I don't know, 9 and 12 folks who say they'd like to come out for more tows. And, you know, we will hopefully be able to accommodate you. Thank you for giving us that heads up. We'll try to start scheduling that.
Yeah, it's pretty good numbers.
Awesome, awesome. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and let everybody read this slide that's been up here for a minute or two. As you can see, we've got some good stuff going on between METAL Soaring Safari, the Region 8 contest, and even though there's the CIP flight operations going on second half of July, we still have weeks available in July if you or your club would like to schedule a safari or an outing. One of the events that is starting to gain more clarity is the potential aerobatic encampment. Chris, would you be willing to take a moment to talk about that and what it's looking like right now?
Yeah. So I've been talking with Shad down at Arizona Soaring, and he's the advanced national winner in the aerobatic competition down there. He's also involved in power aerobatics and that type of thing. And we're looking at possibly combining with the Apple Turnover, which is what is an event that is put on by the powered aerobatic people in Ephrata after Labor Day. And so we're thinking maybe the Labor Day weekend, starting an aerobatic event where we would bring Shad up with his Fox two-place aerobatic glider and give people instruction in inverted recovery, basic aerobatics, and even more advanced aerobatics if they'd like to do that. So he's going to give us a presentation in the May meeting, and anybody that might be interested in that, please attend the May meeting and get the word out to other people so that they can also attend. And I think it could be really cool. There's also someone else with a two-place airbatic, Fox, keeps it in Arizona, but he's actually based in Arlington. And he might bring his glider up as well. I don't know if any private ships, sailplanes show up, maybe Swift gliders, but it's just something that we'd like to introduce and see if there's any interest. And maybe we can get an aerobatic group started here in the Northwest. That'd be really fun. We do have an airbatic box in Ephrata, so it's kind of good timing. The latest April Soaring magazine has a really nice article on sailplane aerobatics, so check that out. Noel, your mic isn't on.
Thank you very much. It was my turn. Sorry about that. I was trying to show off a magazine, but as you guys can see, my computer keeps blanking it out. Thanks, Chris. Could be a really cool event. And just to reiterate what Chris was saying, we're going to have a presentation on this by the people who'd be putting it on in May at our May general meeting here in a month. And at some point, either just before or just after that meeting, we'll try to put together some kind of sign up or RSVP or event registration system together. In order for it to be worthwhile for those guys to bring their equipment up from Arizona, we need to have a certain level of participation. And none of this is finalized, but what we've talked about is offering a few different sort of courses. So we might do some courses where you could sign up for X number of flights that are all about spin recovery, upset and unusual attitude recovery training. So more sort of safety oriented using an aerobatic capable glider. And then for those of you that are interested in the world of aerobatics and want to dip your toe in the water and get a sense for what the basic figures are and how to fly them, then we would offer sort of an intro to aerobatics course with them. And this is all in development, and many thanks to Chris for continuing the conversation with those guys and fleshing this all out. And stay tuned, we'll have more information, like I said, just before or at the May meeting. Since we've given you some things to talk about tonight between the Kahoot and the aerobatic possibilities, I'd like to remind everybody that if you want to continue discussions and share additional information, please feel free to use the SGC News Google group, sign up for it, use it. You can use it on the webpage. You can have all the messages delivered into your email inbox, whatever is most comfortable for you. And you don't have to be an SGC member. So again, if you are part of another club or another organization that the pilots might want to know what kind of stuff we're doing through these meetings, as well as through our events, please encourage them to join the SGC News Google group as well. And we are going to be doing more cross-posting. So not just emailing SGC members about our upcoming events and opportunities, but also putting information out about it on SGC News so that non-members are aware of the opportunities they could have if they did join the SGC and come out to Ephrata or come out to Metau and join us and have fun. Again, there are other places to get information as well. We have the SGC website. As I showed earlier, if you hover over the information page, there's a whole bunch of different subpages that have a lot of good information on them. And then we do have the SGCSF YouTube channel. So it's been a little bit slow over the winter, but we're back up to having all of our meeting recordings posted there, and tonight's meeting will be posted there here in the next day or two. So if you hear of anybody who missed out on the quiz or who wants to learn more about the information, they can come back and replay this this meeting by going to the YouTube channel and watching the videos there. Malin, go ahead.
I don't know how my hand went up. I was sitting here. Anyway, I didn't put my hand up. I don't know what happened there. Kind of interesting.
Okay, no worries. Jim Dauberful's got his hand up, so we'll switch to him. All good, Malin.
Great. So I was wondering if I could just get a quick poll from everybody. If there is the possibility of meeting again in person and being able to utilize the Red Barn, who here would be interested in doing monthly meetings there? We would obviously try and make it available to online members as well at the same time. But how many people here would be interested in that? If you could put your hands up and I'll do a quick count, that would be helpful. Okay, I'm only seeing 4 hands up, 5, 6. Okay. 7, yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of a response. So I have been in contact with them, and I'm trying to figure out how much effort do we put into pursuing this. If we don't have a critical mass, then it's not worthwhile. But I'll go ahead and make further inquiries, and we'll see what we can arrange. Thanks.
And thanks, Jim, for spearheading that and having those communications with the Museum of Flight folks. If nothing else, it's always good to keep that relationship alive and make sure that we're a resource for them. All right. Does anybody have any final questions on the night or concerns or anything they want to raise? Some folks still have their hands up from the in-person meeting, so if you have a question or comment, feel free to come off mute and ask.
Yeah, Noel, this is Lynn Wyman.
Yeah, Lynn.
A couple of questions. I noticed ever since last fall, the webcam at Ephrata shows November 9th or some such date. Is that permanently out of commission, or will it be back?
Yeah, good question. So we've actually been chatting with the new airport manager, and those webcams were a collaborative effort between one of our former members, Tom Krejci, who may be coming back to soar with us, we'll see, and the port. They were unsure where the problem lay up until last week. They have told us at this point that the existing webcams are sort of not repairable. But the new port manager is looking into getting replacements soon and is working with the Ephrata IT folks, the city of Ephrata IT folks, to get those set up here before we get too far into the season. So hopefully in the matter of a couple of weeks, we will have those running again. And we definitely understand that they're important as a resource, both for weather as well as for safety of the ramp, for looking at tie downs and stuff remotely. So we are working with the airport, and we will make sure we have that resource again. If for some reason they run into lengthy delays or problems recommissioning webcams from the airport side, we'll take matters into our own hands and see what we can do from the training center. So stay tuned on that.
Thank you.
No problem. John Foster, I think you tried to talk, but I wasn't hearing you. Did you have a question or something to say? Yeah, I'm sorry, John. It's not picking up your audio. You're off mute, but you might have to see under the controls. There might be a different microphone or something your computer is selecting instead of the one it's supposed to be using. Sorry about the difficulty there. There's also a little chat button along the controls. You could open the chat and type out your question if you like. I'd be happy to try to help you. I can see you, John, but I can't hear you. I'm sorry, man. Anybody else?
Well, Noel, this is Lynn Wyman again. I had one other question.
Sure,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
want to butt in front of anybody, but I was wondering if all that construction on the runways is done or will be done by the time we get back there.
Yeah, it was not done as of 2 weeks ago. They are aware that it's important for them to finish it up as soon as possible. It's really been a matter of temperature and sunshine for the construction crew to come out, finish the asphalt leveling, and then get the striping done. The new port manager is going to try like the dickens to get that done by April 15th. However, if it is not completed, we do already have arrangements in progress with the manager to stage at one end or the other of the runway. We'll only be able to pull one glider out at a time onto the power runway, but we are okay to take tows off of the power runway if necessary for the first week or two.
Thank you.
No problem. John?
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. Sounds great.
All right.
Thank you for
Sorry
your
about that.
persistence.
So a couple questions. I had emailed Mike Bamberg to see if he needed any help or volunteers with the dust up, but I haven't heard anything back from him. And I understand he's out of the country, so maybe that's the reason why. So that's the first question. The second question is, I'm planning to attend the dust up with the VSA group. And a question had come up about paying for parking, for trailer parking. There were a number of questions with regard to camping, motorhomes, etc. If I remember correctly from one of the previous meetings, it was mentioned that the membership fee had gone up this year, and that was due in part to including some of those with the membership fee, like your 1 week of parking for a trailer or that sort of thing. Am I correct there, or am I mistaken or misunderstanding things?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for asking. So the first thing before I forget is yes, Mike's been out of the country. I'm sure we would love to have your help. Thank you very much for asking. Hopefully he'll get back to you in the next couple of days on that. And we can certainly always use a few extra hands at the dust up, but we also want people to be able to fly. So we'll try not to abuse your help. Second of all, for everybody, yes, your membership now includes 1 week of the facility fee. So that's what we ask people to pay to help cover the upkeep of the training facility, the power, water, sewer, internet, for the bathhouse and the training center and the kitchen and the Wi-Fi and all that stuff that all the pilots, naturally use when you're out there. So if you're coming out for just 1 week or just for one event like the dust up, the facility fee is covered in your membership fee. RV parking and glider parking are not covered. They need to be purchased separately. And unfortunately, we can't just bundle it all together the way our website works and the way our membership system works. And we have to kind of segregate these fees out because so many different people use Afreda in different ways. Some people come out for a certain period of the season. Some people come out for one event. Some people come out for the whole year. And we want to try to make this as low cost and easy to use the facilities in the way you use them. So we don't just charge everybody $1,000 and that's the minimum price for entry, right? So we're trying to keep this accessible. The downside is you do have to pay in a couple of different ways or for a couple of different fees. For those of you coming out to the dust up, you need to register and pay for the dust up, and you need to register as a member with the SGC because that gets you under our insurance coverage. If you are bringing a glider, if you go to the website as you see me sharing my screen here and go to use fees, there are glider and trailer parking fees, either seasonal or weekly. Hopefully you can see my mouse moving over here on the right. So you can click and add that item to sort of your online shopping cart. If you're bringing out an RV and you intend to park an RV or like a travel trailer with us, then that's what these 3 fees on the left are for different types, right? 1 week, the whole season, or real short-term use. Add that appropriate thing to your cart, and then you can check out with the glider and trailer and RV parking fees that are right for you. And this is something that we ask folks to do on their own. We do cross-check our tow records later in the year against people paying for the appropriate fees, and so it's mostly honor system, but we will come to you with a bill if you don't. But it's a heck of a lot easier if you remember to go ahead and pay up appropriately. These fees, by the way, are for 2 reasons. For anyone's curious why we charge them, the first reason is because, at least in the case of the RVs, there is electricity and water being used there. The second reason is that we pay a lease to the airport for these grounds every year, and we have to be able to cover those lease costs year in and year out. And in fact, with inflation and some other things, these lease costs have actually gone up a reasonable amount in the last year or two. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the last time they raised the rates about a year ago, it was like $1,200 or $1,500 a year more that we're suddenly having to pay. So we do really need folks to sort of pay for the ground they're using, so that we can all share the burden and make sure that this is a sustainable place for us to come and fly and enjoy for a long time to come. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. And I look forward to seeing you out there. And
Me too.
awesome. I look forward to seeing hopefully all of you as well at our next general meeting. That's going to be May 1st, 7 p.m. as usual. And as Chris said, that is going to be the aerobatic presentation, which should be pretty awesome. Dan Holden, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, just mostly for Chris. I've competed in IAC Power, and I've done some non-competition in gliding, and I'd be happy to help out on the ground or help coordinate things for the aerobatics session.
Oh, that's super. What's your, can you send me your contact information? Just send me an email or something?
Sure. Can you send me your contact information so I can send you mine?
Get ready to write this down. Get ready to write this down.
Sure.
Anybody who wants to contact Chris or any member of the SGC board, here's the easy way to do it. Send an email to sgcboard,
Gotcha.
BOARD, at seattleglidercouncil.org. Once again, sgcboard, BOARD, at seattleglidercouncil.org.
Got it. I'll send you my contact.
Thank you so much. Brian.
Back to the dust up extra days you were talking about. What extra days were you thinking about doing for that?
So the Evergreen Soaring Club will be having an encampment right after the dust up, and we don't want to stomp on top of their plans. So we're currently looking at adding a day or two before the quote unquote official dust up starts. Okay. So the Thursday or Friday before the weekend.
All right, thank you.
All right. As mentioned again, training center opens less than 2 weeks away. Can't wait to see you in Ephrata. Thanks all for coming out tonight. Any last questions?
No, sorry, it's Dan Wenbeck here.
Go ahead, Dan.
From Vancouver Soaring. So with the Evergreen Club, should we be contacting anybody there to see if they need any help from us?
Yeah, I think they would really appreciate that. You guys coordinating would be wonderful. Do you have actually? Did you copy that email address I mentioned earlier?
sgcboard@seattleglider.org.
Yeah. Can you seattleglidercouncil.org? Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you shoot us just a quick note and I will connect you to the right person?
Perfect. Okay, we'll do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
I'd
you.
connect you right now, but I don't think they're on the line tonight. So I will make that introduction over email and happy to help facilitate.
Perfect. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Unless there's any other questions, feel free to chat amongst yourself, hang out if you like, or have yourself a wonderful evening and go prepare for soaring.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Noel.
Thank you.
Thank you.